Hey everyone, I'm George, and this is going to be a quick walkthrough for how to sync enable a game using our plugin and the Omara device. The goal is simple. You already have a game loop. We're not asking you to rewrite it. We're just adding a few sync events at moments you probably already have in your code, like taking damage or entering an environment or taking some sort of action. What you can see on screen right now is StackObot, which is a sample/example project by Epic Games. The version of Unreal Engine we are going to be using is 5.6. So the plugin that you guys will all get provided for Unreal Engine is designed around 5.6. So I already have downloaded the StackObot project. The frame of thinking here is you already have a project, you've already built it out, you've got your assets, you probably even have like your core loop ready to go. And that's exactly what StackObot provides for us. And I've already done a pass through this game, and I've already found good spots to sync enable the game. And I will just be retracing my steps and walking you through what you would have to do initially. The most obvious first step is making sure you've downloaded our plugin. Right now we provide it as a zip. You'll extract that and you'll have to install it the manual way to install a plugin with Unreal Engine. So you create that plugins folder in your root folder and copy the plugin into there. So here you can see we have the OVR AOS plugin enabled. One other thing you should do when you're messing with plugins is make sure in your content drawer that the settings you've enabled plugin content here, you have that checked. That way you can see our plugin contents. That's going to be important because we have a blueprint provided for you that you'll drag and drop into this scene or into your game world that will facilitate connecting to the Omara device. So in this case, I've already dragged and dropped it into the scene, and I have it right here. Once you have that, the quickest way, especially as you're developing to get started with actually connecting the device, is to use the OVR Quick Connect. So if I close out of that, Tools, OVR Quick Connect, and there we go. So I have my Omara device here powered on. It's green, which means it's good to go. We just need to hit play in editor so that we can actually make use of the connection manager we dropped in. So I'm going to start the game. And I'm going to navigate right here to the OVR Quick Connect. Show you what it looks like from scratch. If I disconnect here, we're no longer connected. The device will go green again, and then we can scan from start and then hit connect to connect the device. And we'll stop scan here. I've already mentioned that I've sync enabled this scene, so the coins have some synths. And you'll notice some blue debug log on screen at the top left as well as in the output log, and that will actually tell you the intensity that we're firing the odor at as well as the odor we're attempting to fire. So again, these coins have been sync enabled, so every time we pick them up we get a sweet smell associated with it. You'll also know it's working because the device's blue LED will flicker white a bit as we navigate here, and again the on-screen text will verify, as well as the output log. We also have this area here sync enabled. As we linger here, we get a nice floral scent for this experience, and as we step away from that area, the odor stops. Also the pickup event here. So when we pick it up, we get a nice odor emitted. So proceeding through what's sync enabled in this game, we've got one other area that we've put scent here, and that's right here. So we get a marine aroma here. So what happens when you take damage? We actually get the Machina aroma when this occurs. So let me run you through how we actually did all this. So I'm going to back out. So if we go into the blueprint section and we go into the character and we open up the BP bot, there's a crucial component we have to add to the bot. And that, if you go to add here and type in olfactory, with the plugin enabled, you'll get the olfactory epithelium. And we've added it to the mesh of the bot. So if we click here, I've put it right about where you'd expect the robot's nose to be. It doesn't have to be exactly there if it doesn't work for your game or the end user's experience. You can put it right in the middle. You can zero it out. You can do what makes sense for your game and move it around. Once you've added it, you just hit compile and save. The next step is actually adding some odors to your environment. So there's a 2D way and a 3D way that you can handle odors. If we go over here and search odor, I've created a blueprint odor. So I'll right click here, browse to asset, and in blueprints, in the odors folder, I created a blueprint 3D odor. If we open it up to take a look at what's going on, we just hit add again, type in search odorant, and that's exactly what we've added here is an odorant component. So to do that from scratch, I'll delete it, add odorant, and then what you would need to do is select your odorant asset that you want it to be. In this case, floral, override attenuation. You can also create an attenuation asset if you want to, and you can load it up here. And then you can configure the shape. We have sphere, capsule, box, cone, and the inner and outer radius that you believe this should take. We'll move this, since it's by default floral, we'll move it to where we want it to represent floral. So about there. And I believe we have that set. And so now whenever the nose overlaps with this area, we'll get odor emitted. So I'll go ahead and hit play. So all of that was happening from coins, but now if I hang out here, we get a constant odor that scales and attenuates depending on your distance from the source and depending on the attenuation settings that you've put. How we did the coins is going to be an example of 2D. So to do that, we'll navigate to our blueprints. I believe they have it in the game elements folder, and there we go, BP coin. We'll open that up. And off of the epithelium, which is on the bot, so we get a reference to the player pawn, we cast it to the bot that we know the player is, we get a reference to the nose, and then we get access to the play odor command. Default is intensity 0 and duration 0, but if we just set those two to 1, intensity is a float 0 to 100%, 0 to 1, and that's the max, and duration you can set for roughly how long you intend it to fire for, but right now 1 is a good value. And then you would just wire it up. And that's exactly how our coins work. So it's just wired for a trigger on collection, and it has its play sound, and now you have its play odor. The last aspect to cover is how the damage works. So whenever you take damage to emit odor, we can look at the BP bot for that. And if we search damage, we'll find event received damage. And so this is whenever the character gets damaged, they do a couple of things like visual effects, like they hit flash. And what I just added, and especially since the nose is already on the player, just get a reference to the nose. We do play odor again, and we set the odor to play to the odor asset we want to play. In this case, Machina. The robot is a machine, so you kind of get that Machina odor every time you get hit. One last thing to show is, when an action happens, how do you play an odor? And hopefully it comes to no surprise to you. Again, you would just execute play odor off of the nose. So in this example, they called it grab. So when they grab, there's grab init here, and they spawn a sound, and then right when they spawn the sound is when we play the odor. And in this case, the odor asset selected is a desert odor. So yeah, I think that covers the gist of it. If you guys have any questions, let us know, and we are very excited and look forward to seeing what you guys can make. We just scratched the surface here, so please have fun.